Dry bones, dead bodies. Isn't that a lovely way to start the morning? And yet, it is. Because sometimes we feel like one or the other. Sometimes we feel like Lazarus in the tomb. Like it's all over. Sometimes we feel like Mary and Martha, standing on the outside of the tomb thinking it's all over. And sometimes we're like those dry bones, definitely sure it's all over. Or like the Israelites in captivity in Babylon, thinking it's all over. It's easy to start thinking it's all over. And sometimes it truly feels that there is nothing that can change things. What do we do when it's all over? We often hear that at sporting events. I do hope you don't hear it tonight at the hockey game, but it's all over. I didn't watch the coverage of the Olympics, but I'm pretty sure in both gold medal hockey games, at some point somebody said, it's all over. But it's never all over. With God, it's never all over. There's that promise that there's more. Those dead bones came back to life. The rattling, the coming together, and the new breath of life put into them. These bones shall live, says God. Those bones were the Israelites in captivity who felt like they had nothing left. They'd been taken from Jerusalem. It was taken over by someone else. Their holy city was gone. Their people had been spread out. They were no longer who they used to be. It was all over. Mary and Martha, and all those who had come to grieve with them, were sure it was all over. Lazarus had been sick. They called on the one person they thought could help. He didn't show up. Lazarus died. They went through all the ritual, placed him in the tomb. It was all over. And then Jesus shows up 4 days later. And Jesus says it's not all over. There is still hope. And he calls Lazarus out, and Lazarus lives again. Well, those are great stories from Ezekiel and from John. But here in the 21st century, we have trouble believing such stories, don't we? And yet, we know it to be true. Some of us may feel like we're living in exile, not in the world we knew or thought we knew. Our world is not the same anymore. And we think maybe life as we know it is over. And some of us feel truly dead. We're not just dry bones, but we're done. And God, through Jesus, says, nope, there's more. There's always more. Things don't always look the same. And ultimately, Lazarus is raised, but Lazarus will die again. He's human. And his sisters will have to grieve again. His community will grieve again. But there was something more. This passage is a promise that there is something more. The end is never the end with God. We don't know what it will look like ultimately. But when we feel like we're dried bones, or when we feel like we're Lazarus in the tomb, we are told there's more. That God with us means more. We may not find it today. We may not feel it today. But like blowing up a balloon, breathing breath into new bones or new life into someone, it's there. We cannot see that breath. I've always said, when people say, are you a glass half full or a glass half empty type? I said, my glass is always full. And they look at me and say, how can that be? And I said, the part that isn't the liquid is filled with air. There's always a full glass. God offers us a full glass. It may not look as we hope it will be, but it's there. The possibility of new life always before us. Amen.